Are you considering becoming a passport bro? Are you dating in the United States right now without much success and considering giving up on dating altogether? Does it seem odd when you go on dates with American women that things just don't seem quite right? Well, I'm Ward Banks, and welcome to my YouTube channel. We're going to talk about my experience with being a passport bro in Brazil for 4 years, and you can find out for yourself if it's something that you should embark upon. So, a little bit about me. I left a long term relationship at the age of 21, which was a great relationship. During the time of the ages of 21 to 28, I dated regularly in the United States and I couldn't replicate the passion and intensity of the previous relationship, and I couldn't understand why. So eventually, like you may be doing right now, I threw in the towel and I started to investigate other options. I came across Brazil. I've always wanted to go there. There was always something fascinating about the place, and I always heard about the women there. And I booked a trip myself. And before I went, I joined a website called brazilcupid.com. Now, this was a while ago, so you may want to use Tinder or Bumble in international mode today. But before I went, I met a girl named Dani. I was 29 at the time and she was 21. And we discussed arrangements for me to come there to Rio and she would show me around and be my companion. So I went and flew into Brazil and met Dani, and it was exactly as you would expect. Now, all two cases may not be alike, but for me, I pulled up to her house and out walks a stunning, beautiful 21-year-old, dark haired, dark skinned, beautiful face, beautiful body, unbelievable looking woman. We went to our first date, okay, and we're sitting there in the restaurant, and within 10 minutes, the way that how fiery they are, she was looking into my eyes and was possessing my soul. It's the best way I can put it. And we went to four different places that night, and the chemistry was just so high. But you start to realize like the emotional awareness of the Brazilian, and the expressiveness, and the affection, and the verbal communication of how they feel and think about you is second to none. That's what I love about the Brazilian culture. And we dated for the rest of that time. And I'll tell you what, guys, if you decide to do this, the hardest part about being a passport bro is you have to leave. So you find a girl you really like and you have to come back to the States. And then you're basically taking video calls. And Brazilian women, when they I wouldn't say love yet, because that was a 10-day trip, but we had a strong connection, and she wanted to talk to me for 2 to 3 hours a night, and I think she would have talked to me all night long if I would have let her. So I booked the second trip. I went back. Rinse and repeat. We did it again, but the distance it was too difficult at the time, and I was really busy with work. So my next relationship, the same thing happened. I got the bug. It's hard to let it go, guys. Like you go and you meet a woman from a different culture and see the differences between Brazilian women and American women, or whatever country you decide to visit. Brazil was my favorite, my country of choice. But once again, I did it, at brazilcupid.com. I meet a girl named Elle, and she lived in Santos, the hometown of Pele. And we meet, and this was totally different this time. I was in a different circumstance with work. I was really falling in love with Brazil, and this relationship went the distance. We dated from 2011 until 2014, on and off. I discussed marriage with her. I attempted to get a job with Nestle down in Brazil, and her father even built penthouses and was going to build a house for us if we were to be married. But I'm just some gringo with not the greatest Portuguese skills, and you can't be a man without a job in Brazil and keep a beautiful, high value woman, right? So that relationship, we decided to stop talking in 2014, but I wouldn't take this back for the world, because it taught me a lot about how women could be if they weren't possibly emotionally reserved and repressed like they are in the United States. And let's get into the differences now between American women and Brazilian women. So, what I found out with Brazilian women, the one thing that stands out first and foremost is passion and affection. So, the overall emotional fieriness and the affection, the touching, the constant public display of affection, letting you know how they feel about you, and you have to bring it on as well. So don't be lazy, guys. And just that communicative nature in terms of their feelings and being emotionally aware of themselves and what they want. That was it's second to none, and it's hard to find that in the United States. You just have to look a little bit harder. The second thing I love about Brazil and Brazilian women in relationships is if you have children, if you get married, right, and you have kids, it is a couple oriented culture. So in the United States, the kids come first, the men and women, the intimacy, it goes out the window in most cases. In Brazil, this is not the case. It's the man and the woman are first, the kids are second. The intimacy stays, and it is the solid ground of relationships, and that's why they're successful there. I'll tell you what, the one thing I noticed, okay, husband and wife, and I saw two kids on the beach. You have this, Brazilian guy and his wife, and they're just arms like this, holding one another. They're looking into each other's eyes, talking some kind of romantic Portuguese. And you don't see this in the United States so much, and that's why I love Brazilian culture. Number three would be traditional femininity. And what I mean by that is the gender roles are specific. You definitely have the male, the female. Cooking and cleaning can happen by the woman, but I didn't necessarily care about that in my life. I was in Brazil for romance and fun, but yes, in parts of Brazil that definitely still exists. But I want to make a more important point about the femininity question, and that is the fact that do not, if you go to Brazil and you date there, do not confuse femininity with passivity. Okay, Brazilian women are fiery and strong opinion. They have strong opinions and they will stand their ground, but you will love them for it because they will let you know what's on their mind all the time. There's nothing hidden. Okay. So strong, fierce, that's the best way that I can put it. The next thing I want to talk about is emotional expression. So you may find in America, women are more emotionally reserved. You have to read between the lines. You have to read their behavior more so than anything that they say. Not so in Brazil. I like the fact there that you can have an argument on a regular basis. It's short-lived and it's hot and it'll happen, okay? They'll let you know, but the thing of it is there's no brooding. It just happens. You just get it out of the way. The woman is so easy to tell when they're upset. Not only that, they will let you know. So you can just hash it out right there, get it over with, and return to business as usual and not just have some conflict be brewing for months and weeks and years. And the final thing I want to talk about is loyalty and possessiveness. Now, I thought this was an endearing quality of Brazilian women. And the nice thing about it is if you make them feel safe and they are yours, they're so protective, and if anyone flirts, touches, looks at you, I mean they will cut them. It is a sight to behold, and just having that in your life is nothing but supportive of everything that you're doing. They're fiercely loyal if you do your job as a man and make them feel safe and don't think or let them have any question that you're looking around or looking elsewhere. So, what is my advice to you if you want to be a passport bro? Being a passport bro is one of the best things that I've ever done in my entire life. I went to Brazil and I dated, remember, I dated two people for a significant amount of time. And these were two people that I had went down there to meet. Okay, I had dated many women between the ages of 21 and 28, and I couldn't make it happen. I went to Brazil and it happened twice. So that should tell you the quality and the differences in communication and passion styles. And then what happened was I knew what that looked like and I knew what I wanted. So for 24 months, I dated in the United States straight up 2 to 3 times per week. At the end of the 2 years, I finally meet the woman that is my now wife, and she is American. But think about that, guys. It took 2 years, 2 to 3 times per week dating to meet a woman that resembled a Brazilian of what I found pretty much on an online dating site. So I made this video as an intro. If you guys are more interested in the Passport Bros experience, especially as it pertains to Brazil, please drop a comment and let me know. Subscribe to my channel. I'm looking forward to connecting with you all. Ward Banks signing out.